Hey guys, here's the last part of my kitchen, my refrigerator, that I'm going to give you a little tour of because it was requested. Honestly, I don't think I have the most exciting refrigerator because I don't like to keep a lot of food on hand because I hate throwing food out. And if I'm not making a specific recipe, I don't buy it. I don't just have like chicken or fish just to have it. I make sure I plan ahead, otherwise it gets tossed and I hate doing that. So this is our fridge. It's very nice. I have to admit, I have a second refrigerator, like literally 10 steps away in the mudroom, that I call the beverage refrigerator, and I'll give you a little sneak peek into that too. And that also has a freezer on it, a very small freezer, but then downstairs in my basement I have a full-size freezer, and I'm not going to take you into that because I need to defrost it anyway, and I clean through it, and just, believe me, I have a freezer downstairs. It's the size of this whole refrigerator freezer thing, because I love to freeze things. But I'm going to take you inside, give you a close-up look, and I hope you guys enjoy. Okay, so if you've seen my kitchen tour, then you know this is where my refrigerator is. It's between my pantry and my microwave. Sort of at the end of the kitchen, and I'm just going to give you a look inside. It's I like how it's this way. That was really specific. You know, it opens up on the top, like 2/3 of the fridge is the fridge, and the bottom is a pull-out freezer, and that works fine because I am fortunate enough to have a second fridge in the room just next door. So like I said, I don't keep a lot of stuff in here just to have it. It's all specifically laid out. And I go to the grocery store on average twice a week. So that's when I'll pick up things for the week or half week or whatever. So we got some OJ, some apple juice. Don't drink a lot of those things, but usually have those on hand because they last a long time too. I love whipped cream in my coffee. And there's a tiny little thing of sour cream because I find whenever I buy the big one, it goes bad. Two half gallons of milk. I don't think Organic Valley makes a gallon size. I should probably look into that because we drink about a gallon a week, and it's just me and my husband, but apparently we're big on milk. What better than to go with my Oreos? Then I have little kefirs, and I buy these small ones because I find that I open the big ones and then they go bad because I forget about them, but I like to make smoothies with these and frozen berries and a little agave. Yum yum. And I always keep a box. This is like specifically for the fridge, and I have these in my freezer too. And my little sides come off and there's a screen of baking soda just to keep things smelling fresh. And you're supposed to replace those every 3 months, but I stretch it out to every 6. I think that's perfectly adequate. And here I have my applesauce. If you watched my pantry video, you know I talked about applesauce. And behind that I have a jar of marinara that we're working through. Homemade sauce is the best, but sometimes jar just has to do. And you know, this refrigerator is nice because you can see the little notches in the back allowed me to put the shelves the way I wanted them, and this is just how it worked out for me. I like having the big shelf up top because sometimes I've got big things to store in here. And then it fits the milk, and I don't like to keep dairy on the door, so that's why it's back there. 2 cartons of eggs because we're in between eggs because we were away, and these are kind of old, so I bought a new one, but we'll go through those quick. These are drippings from a chicken that I could use in, you know, in a soup or sauce or something. Whenever we have parties, people like to make dirty martinis, so I always keep olive juice saved from empty. You know, when we run out of the olives, I just save the olive juice because that really does not go bad for a very long time. And then this is dangerously spicy barbecue sauce that my husband made last summer. And again, barbecue sauce, some people say, oh, you can't keep that for that long. Well, we do, and it tastes fine, and we're still alive, so there you go. And then next to all that, you'll see I have a slight obsession with mustard. I have 4 kinds of mustard there, and then I'm going to show you I have another 3 kinds of mustard on the door. But there's nothing better than mustard, and again, mustard is one of those things you can keep forever in your refrigerator. Of course, if it has an expiration date and you're worried about it, then don't keep it, but I mean, I've never had a problem, and I keep mine probably past the expiration date. Those are just so they don't sue you, you know, like if you get sick from their food, then you can't sue them if it was past expiration. This is my favorite kind of low-fat cottage cheese. I have found that cottage cheese is just so different from brand to brand, and who would have thought? But I like Horizon products for sour cream, cottage cheese, that sort of thing. They're organic, which is nice. And then I have True Whip, which is a whipped topping that I got at Whole Foods because I like ice cream with whipped topping. I only use whipped cream for beverages. I use whipped topping, which is kind of like Cool Whip, but like the or natural version for ice cream. And then my dog Winnie eats pumpkin every morning, just a little bit, keep her regular. So I just keep the can, you know, I empty out the can in the fridge, and it lasts about 2 weeks, and that's about how long it stays good anyway. So it works out perfect. And then that's a Bob Evans macaroni that my husband bought at the store, which I would not have normally allowed to happen, but that's what happens when men go to the grocery store. They come back with things that you wouldn't even fathom putting in your mouth, but they would. Now down here are items for dinner / lunch for the next few days. You know, we're going out tonight, and tomorrow we have plans with my in-laws, but Sunday I bought this marinated flank steak to make marinated flank steak, obviously. So that will be good for a few days at least. And then I bought these chicken breasts because I will, on Sunday usually, I do this sort of, my mother-in-law taught me this way, you kind of like bake poach them in a little wine in a covered dish. Wow, I'm having trouble talking today. You know, with salt and pepper and whatever herbs you want. And you poach them for about half an hour at 350, maybe a little longer, until they're done. And it just makes the juiciest, nicest chicken. And I chop it up and I put it in salads or pasta or soup for the week. And that just keeps my protein satisfied. And then on this side, it's sort of the side I reserve for leftovers. So that's like stuff I'm going to make, and this is leftovers. So last night we had chicken, so it's leftover chicken. And these are my glass containers. I was telling you that I prefer to use glass to plastic when it's at home. That's a head of garlic that I'm going to use to marinate the marinate the flank steaks, to make the marinade. Wow! That's leftover garlic from the chicken dinner that I'm going to use to marinate the flank steak. And I just put a little olive oil on the end because I did cut off the top so it was exposed. Otherwise, if it was just the cloves like still in the paper, I would have left them out. And then those are roasted vegetables left over and leftover rice. So that's what there. Then I have two drawers, climate-controlled crispers, and they have little like designations about how high or low the humidity is. So this one's for fruit, so I keep it low, and there's fruit in it. I love berries, and I'm very, very particular about eating organic berries. I generally buy organic, especially when it comes to items on like the dirty foods list, and I'll talk about that a little later. But really porous foods like berries, which have very porous skin, pesticides really seep into those sorts of things. So whenever there are organic berries at the market, I buy them if they look good. And if they don't have organic berries, I eat some other kind of fruit. I don't buy non-organic berries very often. But I wash and cut up strawberries and raspberries and blueberries for the week, and I will eat those as snacks or with breakfast for the week. Always have limes cut up and lemons. I usually have a lemon cut up, but I guess I'm done with my, I need to start a new one. And then I love oranges as a pre or post-workout snack, and apples. Now when it's apple season in the fall, we have great orchards around here, so we get a lot of fresh apples, even in our store. I'll keep those out on the counter when they're fresh, but when it's winter like this, or summer or spring, I keep them in the fridge. Just makes them last longer. Also in the summer and spring, it's nice to have a cold apple, I find. Now this is a veggie drawer, so I keep this on the high humidity. You can see, high for veggies. And again, I don't like to keep a lot of extraneous vegetables on hand, only things that I know I'm going to eat this week. So I didn't buy a head of lettuce because we're going to have a Caesar salad with the flank steak. I'll buy that on Sunday. There are certain things I'll run to the store just for those things, because I find that lettuce does not keep really well in the refrigerator for very long. But I always have baby carrots, and I usually have some sort of other vegetable for me, because sometimes I just like for lunch to have hummus and vegetables. So right now I have a red bell pepper and a seedless cucumber, which is my favorite. Yum. But I do always have onions and shallots in my crisper, just in case, because those are the things I tend to forget to buy at the supermarket. Now this drawer, I really like this feature of the refrigerator. This is probably my favorite part because this drawer is deceptively large. I mean, it looks really like small, but I can fit probably like 3 times as much stuff in here as possible. And that comes in really handy at Thanksgiving, where I'll move down all my like normal everyday food to make room for the Thanksgiving stuff. But this is what it looks like on, you know, day-to-day basis. It's a little sparse, bare, one of those words. It's a little bare right now because I'm in between grocery runs and I need to go get a few things, but I always keep it organized this way, so I might as well show you. I always keep different kinds of shredded cheese for omelets or recipes, whatever. I always have cheese sticks, and I always have a block of cheese that I will cut this up probably very soon and put it in a little baggie, and it'll be like little cubes that I can snack on. That's Jarlsberg. And then this is my favorite butter. It's Kerrygold. I know it's like a little outrageously expensive for butter, but it's my secret weapon. It's my secret weapon for baking, for cooking, for toast, for anything. It is the best butter, and it is worth the extra dollars. And the gold one is salted butter, which, you know, we prefer salted butter for everyday use. But then the silver is unsalted, and I only use this butter in my baking, and I only use unsalted butter in baking unless it specifically calls for salted butter, which it never does. The recipes, I mean. Then I have some whipped cream cheese, mainly not for bagels. We're not big bagel people, but for dipping in pretzels. I'm a big snacker. Here's my rice. I think I mentioned this in my pantry video. I keep rice in the fridge. It just keeps better that way. I find it keeps fresher and it doesn't like dry out. I also keep cornmeal in the fridge. This will expire and I will throw it out when it's expired if I don't make cornbread or corn muffins or something before then. I always have roasted red pepper hummus in a backup one because I go through them like crazy. And I always have this tapioca pudding from Cozy Shack. Oh my god, it's the best tapioca pudding ever, and I usually have more, but I need more. Oh my goodness. Then in the back, I kind of keep meats, so usually it'll be hot dogs and bacon, and that's what I have, hot dogs and bacon. You know, I don't eat bacon. I probably eat bacon once every 2 weeks, but I like to have it on hand for weekend breakfast with my husband. And then those are hot dogs he bought. I would never buy hot dogs this big. I mean, these are ridiculous, but he loves that. The kind I like, which I don't have any of right now, and I need to pick some up, are from Whole Foods. And I believe they're by Applegate, and they make turkey and chicken hot dogs too, and they're really yummy. And then usually I have some more sandwich stuff. I think I mentioned we're not huge sandwich eaters, but I'll have some salami and some sliced turkey, and I always have sliced cheese just in case. Sometimes I just won't even use bread, and I'll just roll those up and eat them as is. So that's the main part of the fridge, and then can't really back up and show you the door because it will close. Okay, I'll run really fast. That's the door. Okay, don't close. Sorry. Anyway, this is basically condiment heaven. You know, maple syrup. This is all kind of Asian condiments for Asian cooking, and then horseradish sauce for smoked trout. These are, you know, sort of like hamburger hot dog sandwich condiments. So mayonnaise, ketchup, another mustard, 2 kinds of this mustard, which are from this place in Mendocino, California. Awesome, best garlic mustard ever. Dijon, and then all sorts of peppers. We usually have pickles, but I guess we're out of pickles. But gotta add that to my list too. And then up there is the little butter compartment, and I used to keep my butter out when I used it more often, but I've been trying to lay off the butter a little bit. I love this butter dish because it's a double wide, and it fits that Kerrygold butter is a double wide stick of butter. It's like 2 sticks in one. So that's that. Salad dressing, don't eat a lot of salad dressing. My husband would like salad dressing, like when I make salad he likes ranch, so that's why we have that, but I usually just use olive oil and lemon juice. And then these are sweet barbecue sauce and spicy barbecue sauce that my husband made this summer that we keep. We have some in the freezer to back up. And then this is a really deep, tall shelf, and I would keep more beverages in it, but like I said, I have the additional refrigerator in the other room, so I keep most of the beverages in there. But I keep beverages I use frequently in here, so mainly fizzy water and cranberry juice, and I drink those together with a little lime. Soy sauce, very important. A bottle of wine that we're working on. Some coconut water. Every once in a while, I feel like it after a particular hard workout or something. It's very hydrating. 2 different kinds of peanut butter, but they're both from the Whole Foods Organics brand, 365 Organic. Unsweetened for me, and regular for my husband. I'm not a crunchy peanut butter person, creamy only. Then I have chocolate sauce for ice cream, 3 different kinds of jam, and then olives, lots of different kinds of olives. I'm a big olive person, and whenever we have company, like I said, people like to make dirty martinis or just martinis, and people like olives in their martinis. So that's the main fridge. Oh, there it goes. And then here's the drawer freezer. And mainly this houses things that I use more frequently. So it's got a little ice maker, and then those are all my ice creams and ice cream bars and things. You can tell I have a major sweet tooth. And again, one of those baking soda freezer things that I showed in the fridge. So the top drawer is all sweets, all frozen sweets. Yum, yum, yum. And then in the bottom, there's this little partition it came with, but yeah, it's not really doing anything at the moment, really. But I have frozen corn kernels and sweet peas, and then this is my favorite Organic Harvest Trio. It's like, reminds me of being a kid when my parents used to go out to dinner. My mom would always make this with whatever I was eating. You know, this little carrot, pea, corn medley. I still eat it. Sometimes I just eat that in a big bowl of popcorn for dinner. And then my berries that I make smoothies out of. I like these because it has all the different berries in them. I don't have to open like a million packages. Different fries and tater tots. And open fries. And then these are my dog. I showed how she eats pumpkin every day. Well, sometimes I freeze them in the Kongs. She likes that more in the summer though. She's not big on like really frozen things when it's this cold out. And then over here I have some cider donuts left over from fall that we should either eat or toss, I guess. Some hamburgers that I have frozen just in case we don't have anything at the last minute. And this is half a recipe of chocolate wafer cookie dough for New York style cheesecake that I make every year at Easter. So that's that, and that's my whole main refrigerator freezer. Now I'm going to take you into my mudroom, which is a mess, but I'm going to take you in there anyway, and I'm going to show you my beverage fridge. So I'm here in my mudroom, and this is the fridge and freezer. It's smaller than the other one. I don't know how big it is, but I'm not going to show you the rest of the mudroom because it's really messy, and I'm going to do a whole video on that soon anyway. But it's got a little freezer up top, and on the door here we have frozen frosty beer mugs for soda or beer. My husband likes it that way. And then up here I have cold packs and coffee beans for when we have parties, if I'm like brewing a big batch of coffee. Otherwise we just use our Keurig single serving thing. And these are little boo-boo packs and ice packs. I injure myself quite a bit. I'm like the biggest klutz ever, and I always need an ice pack for something. Like every week without fail I have a new boo-boo. And I think I mentioned this in my kitchen tour. These are little things that came with this Martha Stewart Tupperware from Macy's, and they like clip into the top of the Tupperware, so it's like the ice pack is part of it, which is kind of neat. And then let's see, here is sort of like frozen prepared foods, and tell me if you can figure out which things were bought by me and which things were bought by my husband. These things he bought when I was not with him. Total man food. In the back you can see my I like Amy's frozen things, like the pizzas and the rice bowls and enchiladas and stuff are really yummy, and sometimes I'll have those for lunch if I don't feel like making something. And then over here I have sort of like little snacks and things. And these are really good too. These are teriyaki wraps by Amy's. And then I have ice, extra backup ice. You know, we have ice in the ice maker in the fridge, but in a party we run out of that really fast. And I actually did invest in an ice machine that we keep in the basement, but I just still like to have backup ice. Frozen fish, frozen shrimp. So these are truffles from Godiva from the summer. They had in their special summer collection was like ice cream flavors, and I fell in love with the mint truffle, the mint chocolate chip truffle. Oh my gosh, it's so good. And I bought that many of them, and I froze them so I could have them still, and they're delicious. They're still good. And then over here, the rest of my ice packs, I'm such a klutz. These are all medical ice packs. These I just got. These are like massive. They're for my legs for running, and whenever I do anything, you know, any high impact thing now, I ice afterwards to prevent injury. And this is a little popsicle maker that I got at Whole Foods, and I haven't used it yet. It supposedly makes up to like 8 popsicles or something in 9 minutes. But I'm more of a popsicle person in the summer, so I'm sure I'll be using that in the summer. And that is what's in the freezer. Now in the fridge is our beverage fridge. You can see why, because it's like all beverages. Oh wait, it is all beverages. So on the door, there's a butter area. I don't have anything in there right now. And then I usually, these are like tiny little Sprites. You can see how small they are. I usually have tiny little Diet Cokes next to them, but we're out. And those are mostly for parties. Here I have little apple juice and orange juices for when my nieces come over. Little chocolate milks I also like to drink after working out sometimes. These are water bottles that we take like with us to the airport and stuff, because you don't want to take your nice, I mean we use reusable water bottles all the time, but you don't want to take those to the airport and then have to dump them out, so that's why I have those on hand. And wine and champagne, and more champagne. And usually my husband's water bottles, he drinks out of Klean Kanteens, are down here, but he must be using them all right now. And then in the main part of the fridge, I have a lot of kombucha and club soda, Gatorade. I think there's vitamin water zero in there somewhere. Yeah, and iced tea. I don't drink a lot of these things very often, but I like to have them. There's a big jug of water. I usually have 2 jugs for parties, just to make my life easier. And then there's soda. I don't ever drink soda really. Every once in a while I'll have a Canada Dry ginger ale. That's why we have that. My husband does like a soda every once in a while with dinner if he's not having a beer or we're not having wine or something. And then on the bottom, I mean, this fridge makes it look like we're huge drinkers. We're really not. You know, I hardly ever drink, but we do have a lot of alcohol and alcoholic beverages on hand, and I realize that. There's all of our beer. It's like the one time I do want to drink beer, I like to have a variety. I like to have a selection to choose from. So there you go. And also I like to have it on hand in case anybody comes over that wants beer. So we have a lot of beer, and then more beer, and then cream soda and root beer. And then I do have 2 crispers in this refrigerator as well, and honestly they don't get much use except when I'm having a big party and I need the extra space. And that's what's in that refrigerator. So I mentioned earlier in the video about the Dirty Dozen foods, and I have a program on my iPhone, an app for it, and it's just a guide so you know which food gets the most pesticides in it just by the way the food is. So I'll click on that and you see the worst things to buy not organic. So you want to buy these things organic are celery, peaches, strawberries, apples, blueberries, nectarines, sweet bell peppers, spinach, kale and collard greens, cherries, potatoes, and grapes. So those are the things that are the most porous and that are going to get the most pesticides in them. And what I like about this is it also shows you the cleanest ones, the things that you really don't have to buy organic. So onions, avocado, sweet corn that's frozen, pineapples, mango, sweet peas that are frozen, asparagus, kiwi, cabbage, eggplant, cantaloupe, watermelon, grapefruit, sweet potatoes, and honeydew melon. So this is just a good thing to have on hand. Like if I'm at the grocery store and I want something and it's not organic, I can't remember if it's like okay, like less bad to eat, the not organic one, then I'll look at this. So that comes in handy. So I hope you guys enjoyed my refrigerator tours. This one and the one in my mudroom. I guess it's kind of interesting to see what other people have in their refrigerators. It was a request, so I hope you guys liked it. And I will be back soon with more videos. So stay tuned. Okay, bye.